and skeletations, my new ghoul friends. I'm Niomi Dylan Sass, resident podcaster here at UIC Radio, and I'm taking you along with me to visit something grave today. This is where hauntings feel like hellos. Welcome to season 3 of a podcast for everything in the horror genre, from movies to mythologies and mysteries. This is Summer in the Crypt. Along with us on this week's frightful journey, you have the otherworldly displeasure of having your favorite harrowing horror hostess with the grossest to review, I think, the best queer horror film ever, Leviticus. This movie was written and directed by Adrian Chiarella and starring Joe Bird and Stacey Klausman, who all happen to be just as gay as Chicago during Pride. The gay gods blessed us with the perfect movie to review to end the 2026 Pride season. Ghoul friends, there will be a trigger warning at the beginning of each of my episodes, just in case today's dark discussion isn't your preferred potion. I touch on topics like homophobia, church-induced hatred, gay bashing, and the death of young queer people. Cool, I get it if you can't listen to that right now. Just leave us a like on your way out and be sure to tune in next week for a different dark discussion. After this quick break, I'll be back to do some grave digging into a movie that perfectly mixes real-life fear that people in the queer community face with the hatred that the church has for people living their truths. Come with me to find out how two guys have to escape a brutal spirit that takes on the form of their biggest sexual desires. I'll be rolling in my coffin with excitement while you listen to this quick message from beyond. I love that in the summer, I don't have a thing to worry about when I'm casting this spell. This is She's Summoning. Everybody, please welcome to the studio, me. I'm so sorry. I've been working a lot, so I haven't been able to, reach out to people and try to get a guest. But it's okay. New month, next month, new guests. We'll see. I'm sure some people would love to come on the podcast. Sometimes it's just easier to kind of do, especially since it was Pride season, I had specific things I wanted to do. So it's just easier to kind of go with my own flow. But whatevs. How y'all been? I am enjoying the sun. I couldn't be more excited that it is not cold AF outside anymore. Yes, that's where my headspace is at. I'm literally ready to go skate around the city with my shirt off. If you see me, then you see me. Yeah, so just a couple of not new things, but I guess PSA just from my perspective. I was at the gym this morning and I was trying to run my daily 5K, and I always have a specific way I do it. I always start at 3 miles per hour and at an incline, and by the time I get to 30 minutes, I'm at 4 miles per hour with a steep incline. And I can get it done in 45 minutes or so. So this morning when I went to go do it, there was nobody in the gym. Basically there was a total of 20 treadmills and probably 4 of us on it. So I was on a treadmill that had 4 empty ones next to me on my left and about 6 empty ones next to me on my right. So even though there was all this empty space, 10 minutes into my routine, one person comes up, some dude comes up and gets on the machine right next to me, and I'm okay, cool, whatever, that's a choice, bro. I would never just go up to the one right next to one of the only people on the treadmills, but go off, queen. And then so then another 5 minutes or so goes by, and then I just start kind of smelling his breath because he's panting a lot because you're on the treadmill, and it was not smelling good. It was pretty gross. It was oh my God, I still had probably almost 25, 30 minutes left of what I had to do on the treadmill. And I was like, okay, let me just see if I can like chew some gum and not smell it. And so I tried to do that. And then about another 5 minutes passed by, even though there's still so many empty treadmills, another dude comes onto my left this time. And now I'm sandwiched in between two dudes. So the new dude, literally like 30 seconds in, I'm like, oh, this dude fucking reeks. He does not take a shower this morning. I can tell. I can smell, actually. Not tell. I can smell. So I have a smelly McGoo on my left and stanky breath on my right. And I was like, you know what? This is just far too much. And I just stopped on the treadmill and I just went to go do like some different like workout equipment stuff. I did a lot of stuff with my abs today. I think my abs will be here by the end of the summer. I am confident in that. They're almost there. I can see them forming like on my ribs. However, PSA announcement, please, if you know you have stink breath, chew some gum. Also, if you're going to go to the gym, take a shower beforehand. Yeah, I know you're going to get sweaty and you're probably going to think like, oh, let me take a shower after. But no, you need to take a shower beforehand so then you don't smell up the damn place when you're running and sweating. So then when you get out of the gym, you can take another quicker shower just to wash off the sweat. And it is too much. I don't know how I am telling grown men how to have basic hygiene. This is crazy. This is insane. This is downright insane. Yeah, thank you for my TED Talk. Anyways, are y'all ready for the next segment? This is Dark Discussions. Today, we have a very special movie. This just came out on June 19th. I saw the early screening on June 18th. And I did like a bunch of notes, and then I went back to the theater early in the morning on June 19th, Juneteenth actually, and I didn't like register that it was Juneteenth until when I came to record the podcast, because I always record on Fridays at 1. Nobody said that the place was going to be closed. I mean, I should have realized and it should have dawned on me that the school was not going to be open on Juneteenth, so that's my bad. But however, I did all of this extra stuff to like get these notes prepared and all this so I can record it on time at 1 p.m. And as soon as I got to the studio, the building at like 12:50, the whole thing was locked, and then it had the sign on the door saying it was Juneteenth, and I was like, oh my God, it is. I just had to come back to the city today. Thank God I had the day off today, so I didn't really mind. And then now that I'm in the city, I'm just gonna go travel and get into some shenanigans up in Boys Town. I got to celebrate my birthday a little bit. With Sydney, who was on the podcast for the Obsession episode. We did some fun stuff. We went shopping and whatnot. But I didn't really get to do anything like crazy. So tonight, my plan is to do something crazy. I'm going to go to the store and I'm going to get a cute outfit. And I'm going to see what's up. But yeah, sorry, we are in Dark Discussions. I don't know how I got back to my personal life. So this movie, oh yeah, because I was saying how I did all the extra stuff. So yeah, today's Saturday and now we're here to talk about Leviticus. This movie was literally such a good movie. And for me personally, before we get into it, I'm just going to say like my little qualms, and then we'll get more into qualms. Not qualms, like, you know, I'm going to say my little like P's and Q's. But this movie was like scary and like not the conventional way, but in a way where the fear is being like simultaneously compared to a demon, because in the church being gay is demonized. So this was like a masterpiece in bringing stuff like that into the light, you know? So it begins with a good old cold open. It's a lifeguard who seems to be doing her closing rounds around the pool. She walks past a shower and it goes on by itself. Then she asks out loud, "What are you doing here?" Then it sounds like some shower sex is happening, but we only see the one lifeguard. The shower water abruptly stops and the girl starts to scream. Her hand then pops up along with the top of her head, both of which are bloody, and then she screams while getting dragged out of frame. And then it goes to the sign, Leviticus. I felt seen, not because of shower sex, but because of being a lifeguard. I just started my summer lifeguard job. I mean, I was a lifeguard before, but I just started my summer lifeguard job, so I just thought it was like totally a coinkydink that it just started off with some lifeguard hoe. Because that's me. I'm a lifeguard hoe. Hi, how are you? So, yeah, at first hand, this feels very like we don't know. Obviously, unless you've seen. By the way, you guys, spoilers. If you have not seen this movie yet, go ahead and turn this biatch off and go watch the movie. Unless you are totally somebody who likes to just auditorily hear what is going down, because scary movies might be too spooky to actually physically watch. So listening to them isn't as bad. And if that is the case, then you are in the perfect space, because honey, we are gonna get all of the tea. So yes, there's gonna be heavy spoilers like everything. So firsthand, this just feels like a haunting, and it totally is, but like we don't know the precipice, we don't know why, we don't know if it is like just a random, some sort of like insidious demon or some sort of like Annabelle demon or something like that, but some spooky stuff's already happening, and we see one girl die right at the beginning. There's not too many deaths in this movie, but yep, we see the one girl die right at the beginning, and you will find out more about her. Now, there are two boys, Naim and Ryan. So they are in the field together in the Australian outback. I'm so sorry. You guys are probably going to hear the worst Australian accent throughout this entire episode. I apologize in advance. I will try my best to not do it as much. So they're in this field together watching a snake swallowing a frog whole in disgust mixed with like a little fear. Then Ryan takes Naim to an old mill where they have to climb high into it, and Naim looks a little hesitant, so Ryan teases him about his fear of snakes and heights. They both sneak into the building and start breaking stuff inside, which leads to them roughhousing. Ryan pins Naim down and kisses him. Naim, for a second, is startled, but then grabs him in for a little more smoochies. They start making out until Naim gets a peek at the reflection and says that they should probably go. While they're walking home, Naim asks why all of a sudden does he want to hang out with him when all he does is ignore him at school. Then he asks Ryan if he has ever been to the mill before, and he replies, saying no, and not to tell anyone about it. So I think that him asking, have you been to the mill before, was him asking, have you kissed another guy before? Maybe at the mill, but like that was totally what that was referencing to. That's what I see it as. So when Ryan was like, no, and don't tell anyone about it, this is very obvious that he has to hide his sexuality, but we don't know about Naim yet. His name is Naim. But in Australian, it sounds like Naim. I love I love watching gay boys kiss. The two actors are pretty cute, and it is super fun to watch their passions for each other. They're really good at playing that oh my god, this is my first time and I've been wanting to do this for such a long time and I'm finally getting to do this, but oh my god, should I be doing this? They both play that excellent. So I am, I identify as a trans femme woman at the moment. Gender is a spectrum, y'all. But I lived a lot of my early life, teenage years and stuff, as a gay man. So, doing this roughhousing stuff with guys that you're into and then end up, kissing, this is stuff that, totally happens. And it's, some of the most fond memories for, queer kids. Queer kids, you have to go through a lot of stuff. but getting to actually experience, because not a lot of like queer kids get to experience their queerness, they get to like experiment with it, I guess is the better word, when they're younger. So being somebody who did, it was very fond memories now to like look back on. So watching this movie kind of just brings back some of those things. Yeah, and also being kept a secret. Ugh, I hate when somebody's like, no, let's stay a secret. No, I can't tell nobody. Yes, you can. I mean, yeah, there's repercussions, but you should. I guess if you did tell somebody, the movie wouldn't happen. I don't know. So whatever. It's a different day, and Naim is at the church with his mom, and the priest is going off about the many things they do in churches. Naim spots Ryan a few rows away, and they look at each other like they are not feeling it. It cuts to Naim's mom talking to him and pointing out that they have been there for a few weeks and he still hasn't made any friends. Then she introduces him to Hunter, who also goes to the church. Then it cuts back to the old mill where Ryan and Naim are hanging out again, smoking. Naim starts to tell a story where the moral of it is that one day you'll believe in things that you cannot see. It was in regard to his mom and their religion, but it's definitely foreshadowing what's to come. Naim said that his mom wanted to move there so they could be closer to people who believed as hard as she did. The next few days, Ryan has deliberately been ignoring Naim at church and school, so Naim goes to his house to probably ask him what's the matter. That's when he sees Hunter and Ryan roughhousing, then kissing, just like how they did. Naim couldn't believe his eyes and ran away hurt and unnoticed. Yeah, want to know something crazy, you guys? So this is something that kind of totally happened to me, but was like much more worse. I laugh about it now because what else can you do? So basically, I had a few like partners. My first one was like one of a few weeks, but my second one, that's when I was super young. My second one, we dated for almost like 5 or 6 years, and we started out in high school and stuff. But before we started like officially dating, we were like friends with benefits, And I kind of was staying with him for a while, and he kind of like a few weeks before I had saw what I had saw, but he told me that, okay, like, this is all fun and stuff, but like you can't have sex with other people. And I was like, what do you mean I can't have sex with other people? You're not my boyfriend. And he was like, yeah, but like, I don't want you having sex with people because like I just want to have sex with you. And I was like, okay, well, if that's the case, then you can't have sex with other people. So in my mind, I was like, okay, we're kind of dating, right? Like, am I crazy? Is that not like what that transpired? If you don't think that's what had transpired, comment below. So yeah, we had that like conversation and understanding. So like 2 weeks later, about 2 weeks later, one of my friends lived down the street from him, and it was like one of her sister's kids' birthday parties, and I was like, okay, cool, I'm gonna go over there, have a cute time. We're gonna they had a pool and stuff, so we're gonna go over there and swim. He didn't want to come. He was like, oh, I'm just gonna stay and play some video games. I was like, all right, cool, no worries. It's just down the street, so I'll be back in like 2 or 3 hours. As soon as I got to the party, I kind of wasn't feeling it. And I was there probably for like 30 minutes just to like show some. I was probably there for like 30 minutes just to show some face. So then once, everyone was there, I said hi and I left. I just went back to his place because I knew that his parents weren't there, and I was like, okay, maybe we can hang out. So like once I like hop back over the fence and like go to the backyard, I'm like walking past, because that's how we both like went there. And he knew I was going to come back after the party, too. So, but he thought it was going to be much later. So when I came back over the fence and I started like walking past the window, his window was right there by the backyard, and I heard like moaning and stuff, and I was like, oh, okay, his parents are gone, so he's probably like whacking off, with like not his headphones on or something like that. And so I was like, okay, maybe, I could go do a little something. So then I go inside, and as soon as I open the door, he is butt naked having sex with some other girl that was in band. And I was like, like shocked, and like I stood there at the door, and then he like saw me and like stopped, and then kind of just like laughed, and then she was like, "Oh my god," and I was like, "Oh my god," and then I was like, "Well, I'm gonna go." And so like I ran outside, and then I like hid behind like the fence because I was just processing what had happened, and I like heard him like tell her like she had to go, and then he like started like looking for me and stuff, and then like he was texting me, blowing me up and stuff. And actually, now that I think about it, you guys, being young, you're so stupid. You're so dumb. That relationship was destined for failure, but he was so hot. Now he's a balding which, karma. But like he was so hot when we were younger. Like that was literally like one of the hottest guys at school, and I was like, yes, that's about to be mine. That boy is mine. But yeah, so basically after all of that, that's when I had told him, so did we not just have this conversation about what me not having sex with somebody and you not having sex with somebody else? And he was like, oh, I don't know, blah blah blah. I was just like, I was thinking about like, making things official with you, but I just wanted to kind of like have like coochie basically one last time before like I stayed committed to you, blah 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 blah. And I was like, what do you mean? And then like me being dumb and like hating where I lived and stuff, hating my housing situation, and I saw like an opportunity to kind of like benefit off of a better life. I was like, oh, you wanted to date me? Oh my god, why you want to make things official? Okay, but like if you make things official, like we can't be doing that. Like no more of that stuff, okay? Like no more of that stuff. And like that's my own dumb fault. And we were kind of like super toxic together because the whole entire time, I kept thinking he was gonna go have sex with like other girls and. But that's not my fault, from what I had saw. Yeah, it's a lot, y'all. Tune in to my tell-all book that I will be writing in a few years. It's going to be juicy, oosey, goosey. But back to this gay story. This gay horror story, not my gay horror story. So, later on, we see Name go and have a conversation with Hunter's parents. Yes, he did exactly what you think he did. He told them about what he saw between Hunter and Ryan. In the next scene, everybody is at the church surrounding Hunter and Ryan, and they are kneeling in the middle of the room. There is a head priest grilling them about how they feel, telling them that all their lust, desires, and indecencies must go away. The priest puts some sort of blessing to some and a curse to others upon the two boys. They both aren't buying it until the priest pulls out a lighter, and it causes the two to convulse and seize up right in front of everyone. Name couldn't handle what he had done and ran away. Hunter's sister knows that it was Name who ratted on her brother, and everyone in town knows now that Hunter and Ryan are gay. Now the guys at school are messing with Ryan, throwing froggets at his face. Later on, Name runs into Ryan at a store and tries to talk to him. This is when Ryan tells him that he needs to stop talking to him, and then Name's mom pops up, and then that makes Ryan run out the store. So yeah, he was like, don't talk to me or else they'll find out about you too. Ryan doesn't know that Name was the one that ratted them out and basically got them like the church. It like during the trailer it looked like they were exorcising, like they're like exorcising a demon out, in paranormal movies and whatnot. But it looked like they were trying to like exorcise the gay away. Like that's what this was kind of like leaning towards. But we see that not yet, but we see this happening, and that's kind of like what it feels like is like it feels like there's this demon trying to come out of both of their bodies after the priest like put this holy prayer on them, and I put quotations around holy, y'all, holy prayer on them, and they both just start convulsing and seizing up. This was probably one of the more intense parts of the movie because of two guys getting put on display for their gayness. And I do want to talk about this really quick. That's crazy that Name caught him kissing some other guy. And knowing Ryan, he's a little freaky deaky. We'll hear that in a little bit. But knowing Ryan, they totally did more than kiss that day. Name just ran away and didn't see the rest of it. So I don't know if I would say I don't blame Name, But when you're young, you kind of don't know any better, and you kind of just like want eye for an eye, and you want revenge because like same. You know what? Next. You know what? Next. But yeah, so Ryan, you can tell whatever curse that they put on Ryan and Hunter is like totally affecting Ryan. He is like more different than he was before. He looks scared to death, and he is literally trying to avoid Name like at all costs. Yeah, I don't know if I blame Name, you know, for telling him. And if he didn't tell, then there wouldn't be a movie. Or, I mean, I guess they could have, like, found out in a different way. Like, I guess, like, let's say the sister could have caught them kissing or something and told the parents. But then it would have been a whole different movie. Yeah, this movie's so good, you guys. But it's so true. Like, I can already relate so much with what happens, like, you know? And this is only, like, 20, 30 minutes into the movie, and this is already 30 minutes into the podcast. All right, let's get going. Name follows Ryan back to his house and sees Ryan flirting with the heir, basically, like how the lifeguard was at the beginning of the movie. Name stays hidden and follows Ryan all the way up to the roller rink, trying to figure out who else he is flirting with. Ryan ends up in a photo booth and starts taking photos with the person he's been kissing. Name is right outside waiting for those photos to drop so he can see who is with Ryan. But the pictures are just Ryan making out with no one. Name then hears Ryan scream and opens up the curtains to see him being choked all the way to the top of the photo booth by nothing. Ryan is running away, trying to get out of the roller rink when he sees Name and tells him that he has to stop following him. Then it cuts to Hunter working at his gas station job, kind of spacing out. Then Name appears in the distance. They talk about what has been happening a little bit. And then Name ends up taking off. Something tells him to turn back to the gas station a little bit later, and when he does, Hunter is outside being levitated in the air and dragged off by nothing that can be seen. The next shot is Hunter's decapitated head being left in a field somewhere. This is death number 2. I think this is the only other death that happens in this movie, if anybody's interested. I believe the kill count is 2. But they are very important deaths. And I will tell you why. So, Hunter, when Name went to go talk to Hunter, he was asking him, like, what the priest done to him and Ryan, and, like, basically, are they okay or whatnot? And then he asked, did it work on him? And then did it work on Ryan? And he's like, I don't know, but Ryan comes here when I'm closing every night, and we just throw stuff at each other. And so when Name goes back at night, that's what he sees. He sees Hunter outside, and Hunter's throwing stuff, but towards the air, you know, nobody's there. But the object is getting thrown back at him. There's a rock getting thrown right back at him. Name sees Hunter getting choked just how Ryan was in the photo booth. And Name is kind of like locked inside the gas station because he went and hid in there. So he's trying to like break out of the gas station, trying to help Hunter. And he can't. And then he sees Hunter get dragged off by, again, nothing. And that's when he finally breaks free from the gas station, and he can't find Hunter anywhere. And the next day, that's when they see Name's decapitated head in the field, which is like crazy. I don't even know how the ghost is capable of decapitation. That's insane. And to the photo booth thingy, I watched the movie twice. The first time I didn't really notice it because I was taking notes, but the second time, Name saw Ryan getting choked in the photo booth, and Ryan was trying to run away out of the roller rink, and Name was like, oh my God, what happened? And then Ryan was like, what do you mean what happened? That was you. And he was like, me? He's like, you did this. You have to stop following me. So this kind of like Ryan thinks, so it kind of like feels like Ryan thinks that he was talking to Name the entire time, even though Name was not there, which is crazy spooky. So, Name is at the police station trying to report what just happened and warn them about the same thing is coming for Ryan next. The police aren't really picking up what he's throwing down. His mom then comes to the station to pick him up. Name says he's been scared of this feeling he has, and since moving there, the feeling has only heightened, and he is in fear for Ryan because they both share that same feeling. The lady who was taking Name's report definitely told his mom he was gay because when they pulled back up to their house, guess who was waiting for them at their door? The same priest who had cursed Ryan and Hunter, who was also known as the Deliverance Healer. Name's mom told him that boys like him, Ryan, and Hunter need that kind of help from this person, or else they would end up dying from hatred. Even though Name tried to run off and fight back, the Deliverance Healer cursed him with the same thing that is hunting Ryan. So this is like point number one of like a church's hypocrisy, where they are saying that their children are going to get hurt from hatred, but then they're basically finding a priest to exorcise them or possess them with a gay demolishing demon. And does that sound like that's keeping does that sound like that's keeping your kid alive? It's so insane, and it's insane. There's a bunch of people who used to think this more. There's still people who think stuff like this now. So yeah, hashtag the mom too. You. Yeah. Name tries to fight back the entire time, but there's like two dudes, and unfortunately he was unsuccessful, and the deliverance man put the exact same curse on him that he did on Ryan and Hunter. But now everyone is at Hunter's funeral, including Name and his mom, where she's been a cold-hearted see you next Tuesday to him. Name goes outside to get away, and that's when he has a moment with Ryan. They both get close and start to kiss, and that's when Ryan aggressively chokes and throws Name into the fence. Name runs back to the funeral asking people to help because he was just attacked by Ryan. That's when the real Ryan comes out of the house and see what's transpiring. Now he knows that this entity has targeted Name as well. While they are talking, Hunter's sister came up to them and told them the story about how she knew this deliverance healer. He was called on a female couple a while ago, and one of the girls had died shortly after. It was the lifeguard from the beginning of the movie. However, the girlfriend of the lifeguard, Jessica, is still alive in a mental hospital, so Name and Ryan go to see her for some answers. All right, so so this is when we figure out that like what Ryan was basically seeing Name in the photo booth, and like probably an entity that looked like Name was the one that was attacking him in the photo booth and was there the entire time, because this is what happened to Name. Name saw Ryan out there and they both started macking out and getting down, and it was really cute. And then as soon as they're making out, he literally like chokes him, like without consent, by the way, chokes him and slams him into a fence, and the fence breaks and stuff. And it was like, what the F? But that's when we figure out as the audience that, okay, this entity is taking on the form of their lovers. One of the key pieces of information the boys were able to get from Jessica was that this entity was being sent after them, and it will always turn into the person that they are most attracted to. Name asks if she thinks that her deceased girlfriend had died from the spirit looking like her. As she starts to crash out on the boys, she screams at them that there is no way to get rid of it and to stay away from each other because they're only making it worse. As the two boys are trying to get back on the bus to go home, Ryan gets on first, and the door closes right before Name can get on. Name sees a different Ryan standing out there in the distance, and he starts creepily rushing towards Name before the bus door finally opens. He rushes inside the bus, and the other Ryan disappears. The boys start to talk, and Name suggests that maybe Jessica's right, and the more they hang out with each other, the more they make it worse. But things start to get a little hot and spicy on the bus, and this is when Ryan gives Name a hand job in the back while they're making out. Honestly, this scene was so hot. Next. The next day at school... Okay, hold on. Let's dissect a little bit. So yes, Jessica confirmed that this entity is going to turn into... She also said, like, it doesn't matter who it is. It could be a famous person. It could be your gym teacher. It can be, you know, the person you're in love with right now. If you move on to somebody... If you move on from one attraction, it can turn into another one, basically, and it's going to keep coming after you. So this is what we're dealing with. So, the next day at school, Ryan locks eyes with Name in the hall and tries to get him to go into the bathroom with him. Ryan goes in first, but Name decides not to follow him in there. Then, as Name is walking past the bathroom, Ryan comes out, screaming with his ear all bloody. Ryan looks at Name, and they both know that he was just attacked by the entity released on them. Name suggests that he's thinking about taking a bus to the city and getting out of town. Then Ryan says, what good will it do? Because even if they were able to get over their feelings for each other, then this demon's gonna turn into the next person they start liking. This is when Ryan tells Name if that's the case, he'd rather have this entity looking like Name than anybody else. Hunter's sister comes up to them later on and says that she can drive them somewhere for help because she knows how to find the deliverance healer. Then when they get to their destination, another car pulls up full of guys, and she reveals that it was her doing. She tells Ryan that it was Name who told Hunter's parents about them, so it was Name's fault for her brother's death, and she wanted revenge. Ryan can't believe that this was Name who told the church. The two boys start getting jumped by all these other guys until Ryan breaks away, stealing the girl's car and running it into the group of guys attacking Name. Name jumps into the car and they drive away in silence. Once Ryan gets Name back to his house, he tells him if he ever sees something that looks like him, to not go near it because he said it will never be him, and drives off. So this was like the deep part. This was the breakup, basically. Yeah, Ryan can't even look Name in the eyes because of the betrayal. And it never got brought to the surface. He never got to say, well, I saw you kissing Hunter. I'm sure that's why. I'm sure it's, you don't have to spell it out. But yeah, Name did have a reason. It wasn't a good reason, but he did have a reason. And, I would have been hurt too. I don't know if I would have went as far as that, but I would have been hurt a lot too. And you can still tell Ryan's a good guy because, he could have, he would have left him to his death basically. But, Ryan still went and protected Name after finding out Name had ratted on him and changed his whole entire life forever. Not only is the guilt eating Name alive, but he also keeps getting attacked by the demon that's trying to look like Ryan. Name tries to plead with his mom to not leave him alone and help him, but that cold-hearted leaves Name alone and doesn't help him. Later on, he sees Ryan outside and runs because he doesn't believe it's him. They have a conversation through the screen door, and Ryan says that this is what the church wanted, for them to be scared of each other. They started feeling each other through the screen, and that's when Ryan's arm busts through it and tries to attack Name. It was not Ryan out there. Name runs out of the house away from the entity and finds himself at a store getting ready to close. He begs the people inside not to leave him alone, but they all do. He sees a bike out front and decides to hop on it and keep riding it. He ended up back at the old mill where they kissed for the first time. The entity is really good at playing on Name's feelings for Ryan, and they basically fight throughout the entire mill. Name is close to losing the fight when he thinks to get his lighter and spark it on the demon's face. That causes it to let go long enough for Name to get away, and he sets this whole mill on fire. Ryan is still inside and is trying to talk to Name through a window. Name isn't buying it this time and shuts the window, and we hear the demon scream as the building burns to ashes. So, you can tell that this was the demon from, obviously when he was attacking Name, but in the beginning of the movie, they were both kind of thrashing the old mill once they got inside of it for the first time, and, they were trying to throw bigger and bigger stuff. So then Name tried to pick up this really huge metal piping that he was not able to pick up. And then Ryan was like, haha, you're silly. Let me try to pick it up. I'm strong. And he couldn't even pick it up either with both of his hands. So right now when they were fighting in the mill, Ryan, they end up on the floor right next to that same metal piping. And Ryan is on top of Name, kind of in the same position where they were kissing in the first scene, but now he's choking him, trying to kill him, and then he's choking him with one hand, and then he uses his other hand to grab that metal piping that both of them couldn't pick up earlier in the movie, and he picks it up like it was styrofoam. Yeah, and imagine just having to basically, even though it was a demon, but Name basically had to kill the person he loved. It was this whole I'm leaving out a lot of stuff just so it doesn't get I don't spoil too much, but Name was going through it, and we don't see Ryan going through it, but I'm assuming Ryan was going through it just as much. But Name was being attacked at his house, and Ryan like punched through the screen window, and the screen window like ripped off some of his flesh. It was pretty nice. And I believe this, yeah, Joey Bird, though he just played this so good. He played this part so good. There was not one single moment where I was like, I don't believe it. He played this so good. This kind of like speaks to how lonely it could be as somebody of the queer community, because Name is asking, the one person that's supposed to protect him, the person that actually put the curse on him, but he's asking her for help, and she's like, I'd rather not. Sorry, you're gay. And then he goes out in public and starts asking other people for help, because when you can't turn to the people you love, to the people who are supposed to protect you for help, you go to strangers, because who else are you supposed to go to? And even the strangers weren't trying to help him at all. All he was asking was just basically like, hey, can we hang out? But it was a little frantic. However, like, nobody cared. So, Name starts a search party for Ryan, because I don't think he's sure if he actually ended up killing the entity pretending to be him, or if it was actually Ryan himself. He tries to get his mom to help again, and that's when she reveals that there is nothing she can do to help him, because what is done cannot be undone. Let me stop right there. So, she knew exactly what she was doing. She didn't think that she was praying the gay away. She knew all the details that were going to happen. She said that she told Name that she's not going to be there forever, and it's good to live with a little fear because it'll protect you. She knew that this thing was going to scare the gay out of her son, or attempt to basically scare the homosexual out of her son. Yeah, I cannot with this lady. She said that those people said that this entity would keep him safe, and it is in fact not keeping him safe. Yeah, this part was like really, really good. He was like, I'm not safe. I'm terrified. And it's just, it's so good, you guys. This movie's so good, especially if you're a homo. Especially if you're gay, this movie's so good. His mom does not care and kind of shuns him away to deal with it on his own. The search party can't find anything, and so he leaves with his mom. Left with no choice, when they're at a gas station, Name decides he's going to get on a bus and leave that town. When he gets to the station, Ryan is waiting there too. This time, it really is him, because there are other people around them. This entity can only reveal itself when they're alone. They both look like they've been through absolute hell and back, and realize they can keep it away by staying together. Ryan forgives Name for what he did, and they both get on the bus to leave that town together. As they are leaving, Name sees the other Ryan stuck at the exit sign of the town through the window of the bus. And they both now get to start fresh, leaving their demons behind them in a rotten, godforsaken town. Oh my goodness, you guys. So there is a happy ending. Thank God. Oh my God. I remember seeing the trailer and someone was like, please let there be a happy ending. Please let there be a happy ending. And yes, thank God there was a happy ending, because this was crazy. And then now one of the things, I think the mom is Alice from Alice in Wonderland. But yeah, just by the way, I hate her now because she did such a good job at being like non-supportive parent. She was telling Name, like in the beginning, not the beginning, I think in the end, like, I can't lose you, I can't, just how like the family lost Hunter, she was like, I can't lose you, so I'm trying to keep you safe. And then when Name disappears at the gas station, that's when she's like starts to finally panic a little bit. Like she was like, Nime, where are you, Nime? And oh girl, now you care when he's gone. It takes a queer person, it takes a gay guy to run away for you to care. And oh my God, I relate to this so much, you guys. This is why I really relate to this movie a lot. I was like, this is another little sneak peek of my tell-all book that you guys are gonna get in a few years, okay? So I ran away a lot. My childhood was not good. My family life was not good. I'll leave it at that. The first time I ran away was like 12. Okay, and a lot of it was because I wasn't accepted and I was being abused in multiple different facets for who I was. And so I ran away the first time when I was 12. I ran away again when I was 13. And I stayed gone for like 6 months. And then I went back home, and then it was like 14. I kept running away for like a week here, a week there. In middle school, I ran away and I lived in an abandoned house across the street from my middle school for like 2 weeks until it got like too scary. And then yeah, so I know what it's like to like ask for help from the person that's supposed to help you and they're not going to help you. And I know what it's like to ask for help from strangers and they're not going to help you and you're left with no other choice but to run. And I don't think it's running away. I think it's running towards something better. And I don't think that's what they were doing at the end. I don't think they were leaving their life behind. I don't think they were running away from, their past. I think that they were running towards a better future. I think they were, realized that everything that's in that town is not for them, that there is a different life somewhere better. And it's always, and I love the concept too of it's like two boys from a small town going to the city, because that's usually how it is. Most queer people go to a bigger city and they all kind of like, I don't know the word. They kind of like all stay together, That's what I did. That's why I came to Chicago. I knew Chicago was like a a hub for queer people. And it is. Like I can't walk around anywhere around this place and I love it. I can't walk around anywhere without being like, "Ooh, you're gay." But yeah, the moment at the end when they're on the bus and they're kind of like leaning on each other, getting comfortable. It's really touching, and I'm excited, and I wish them well, and I wish nothing bad ever happens like that to queer people. But this movie is 20 out of 10. Such a good movie. Such a good movie. I highly recommend. So y'all, this was Leviticus 2026. We are at the part where we get to play one of my favorite games. This is Slash or Smash. The rules are very simple. I will tell you some dangerous daddies, and we will say whether we would slash or smash and why. So, since this movie was centered around gay guys and homosexuals, I thought what better contestants for today's round of Slash or Smash than some hot dads. And it's about to be Father's Day, so for y'all who have daddies out there, send them this clip and tell them if they're a horror lover, here are some movies you can watch for Father's Day, okay? First, we have George Lutz from Amityville Horror. So, there's two versions of this movie. There's one from the 70s, and the guy who plays that is like a hairy beefcake. I'm gonna smash. And there's another remake in the early 2000s, and Ryan Reynolds plays George Lutz, and I'm also gonna smash. But this is a movie that is based on a true story. This guy kind of like goes crazy, gets haunted, and ends up killing his wife and kids, or tries to kill his wife and kids. I always get this one and a different movie that is on the list mixed up. That is next. But I know more about the other one because I did an episode on it. So I need to do an episode on Amityville Horror. And it'll probably be, we could do a double feature, So if anybody wants to do that, watch the original one and then watch the one with Ryan Reynolds. Let's do it. However, yeah, he's going to get a smash. All right. Jack Torrance is up next, and he's from The Shining. He is going to get a slash. The hairline is chopped. The smile is chopped. You are very aggressive, and even before, you went crazy in the hotel, sir, you were not a good guy. You were an alcoholic. You abused your child and your wife, so slash. All right, next up on the list is Ellison Oswald from the movie Sinister. So, You know what? I'm gonna give him a slash too. This is played by Ethan Hawke. He's just a basic-looking white boy. When Ethan Hawke was younger, though, like he was in the movie Training Day with Denzel Washington. Ooh, both of them were fine in that movie. But yeah, he is some rich asshole in The Purge. Oh, not The Purge. He was in The Purge too. So let me not get the movie mixed up. This one's Sinister. Sinister, I believe he's like a writer, and then he comes across these tapes, and these tapes end up like having a bunch of murders on them. And then as he keeps watching these tapes, some demon is revealed, and it is said that once you like lay eyes on the demon, or once the demon lets you see them, then that's them like putting their mark on you and your family. So all these videos that he keeps finding is this demon like killing families, the entire families, in brutal ways, like hanging them, drowning them, running them over and so now his family's getting marked, and I believed it ends up going and possessing like one of the boys, one of the sons, and the family dies just like the rest of them. I love a movie when everyone dies. I love it, honestly. Kill him. But the dad is going to get a slash. You brought that upon your family. Next up, we're going to have Ed Warren from the Conjuring universe, and he is going to get a smash. Not only the actor, but the actual person, because he is a ride or die. I love that couple. They're like, he was like, yeah, my wife can not only see the ghosts around you, but we can kill them, trap them, and keep them safe away from you, or keep you safe away from them. I think he was a great guy. A demonologist, one of the only demonologists, which is pretty cool, pretty rad. Even though like it was smothered in religion, it's cool to know about that stuff. Yeah. But he is going to get a smash. Last up on the list, we have Gabe Wilson from the movie Us. And he's going to get a smash. He was so funny in this movie. This movie is about, like, doppelgangers and, like, a whole city. Everyone has like this doppelganger that lives underneath the city, and now they're ready to revolt. And one of them like got out earlier and took the place of this little girl who is Gabe Wilson's wife, Lupita Nyong'o. Yeah, she's the one that plays it. Her doppelganger like basically switches places with her when she's a kid, and so that version kind of I think is the one that like starts this revolution with all the other ones and gets them all to come up to the surface and kill their counterparts and like take over the world. But he is so funny in this movie. This is the character. I don't remember the actor's name, but the actor himself, y'all go look him up on IMDb. He is fine. Like I think he got fit. He definitely had a dad bod in the movie, but even in the dad bod, I was down with the dad bod. But he is super fine. This is gonna be a smash. Alrighty, you guys. So just remember, if you're looking for some movies for Father's Day, here is my list: Amityville Horror, The Shining, Sinister, The Conjuring universe, and Us. That was slash or smash. We have almost dug a hole big enough to fit this topic into, but before we go, this is part of the show where we answer chilling inquiries from our crypt keepers. And today's questions are from the scariest place of all, the Instagram DMs. All right, so this first one wasn't from this first one was from the apps. I'm on the apps, you know, and one of the things I have in my bio is like, oh, I love horror movies. Talk to me about it. Ask me a question. So somebody like actually like slid into my DMs and actually gave me a pretty good question. They were unknownced that it's for a podcast, but I am gonna answer it for the podcast. Okay. The question is, what's your favorite horror victim you thought should have survived? This was a really good question, and I had to think about it for a little bit, but I kind of came to the consensus. I have my main one. I've been talking about Scream a lot lately, but it's gonna be Randy from Scream. He died in Scream 2. He was a survivor in Scream 1, but he died in Scream 2. He was the character that kind of invented horror movie rules. That character was like, all right, so, rule this, rule that. He was a video store clerk and just like knew everything about movies and horror. And in college, he was inside of a cinema class. And I think that he could have turned out to be, I think he would have been like a good Ghostface down the line, like it's always good to have like somebody from the past be the Ghostface. Sydney will never be Cindy Prescott, Sydney would never be the Ghostface, sadly. But I think somebody like but it's too late now. They're all way too old and been attacked by way too many Ghostfaces. But I think he would have been a cool Ghostface for the third movie instead of like that random brother that they created instead. It could have been that like he, even after all this time protecting Sydney, he wanted to be in love with Sydney and wanted to date Sydney, and Sydney just wanted nothing to do with him and always friend-zoned him, and that could have been his motive, because everybody needs a motive, right? That's what he would have said. So that would have been that's my answer. Randy from Scream 2. He died in Scream 2. The way he died was kind of cool, but he popped up in Scream 3 as a cameo and like a little recorded version. That was funny. I am gonna answer one more question. So this one is from Angel Baby. That is ANGGELLBBY. Hey friend, OMG, I miss you so much. There's literally nobody gay out here like you. Just by the way, I am searching for a gay person like you every day in my life, and I cannot find them. Until I do, I miss you so much. So their question is, what horror franchise would you live in? There we go. All right, so what horror franchise would I live in? So we have to think like, what can we survive? So it's not going to be Terrifier, because we're not surviving that. You know what? Let's do Chucky. I think the Chucky universe, because if he ever tried to come after me, I am confident. I think I could at least get away. I don't know if I'll kill him, because you can't really ever kill him. He always comes back. But not only are they all gay over there, but yeah, I think I could handle whipping that little doll's ass, Yeah, the Chucky universe, there's not all the Child's Play, and I'm not one of those dumb parents that like is gonna get a kid a creepy doll. I probably wouldn't even have a kid. But yeah, I don't find myself in a situation where maybe, I think, if I was in that universe, I would definitely end up being like, I might end up getting killed by Tiffany, because I'd probably try to go for Tiffany's spot and be like the new goth baddie with the big old titties and try to get on Chucky's good side so then I don't get killed. Or I would be like the babysitter of their non-binary kid Glenda and still just be on their good side and kind of help them clean up the bodies and stuff, and then they live at my house, so then they always have like a safe space, and then they can just like kill without anybody knowing. Yes, that is definitely the universe I'm gonna live in. All right, thank you guys for writing in. That was the Crypt questions. I'd like to thank you all for hanging out with me today. And I also want to let you guys know, for real, if you aren't already, go follow my Instagram at She's in the Crypt, so you can see all the things I got going on. I'm starting to post a lot of random stuff, which is some is fun, some's not fun. We'll see. But I'd like to thank UIC Radio for publishing this podcast. But most importantly, I'd like to thank you, the Crypt Keepers. Thank you for digging this grave with me today, but unfortunately, the graveyard is closed. So until next time, we'll leave this episode in the crypt. Farewell, and bad dreams. Make sure to follow the podcast on Instagram at She's in the Crypt for updates about shows and upcoming guests. Follow UIC Radio at UIC Radio on Insta and subscribe to the UIC Radio YouTube channel so you won't miss a single episode every Friday. And you can also check out the other shows on the network. Make sure to give the podcast a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. It'll really help the algorithm. This podcast was created, written, and edited by Niomi Dylan Sass. Hey! And published by UIC Radio. Music by Arthur Benson, The Friendly Ghost, and sound effects from epidemicsounds.com. If you can't get enough of She's in the Crypt, you can check out my weekly blog, Crypt Collections, every Saturday morning on the website, uicradio.net. Find me in the blog section. Bye!